Howdy, Namie Amuro fanatics. This is Steven, and I found an interesting article on the internet in relation to Namie, and I would like to share it with you guys. So here I go with my news article analysis. All right, the title of the article is "Comeback Queen of J-Pop." Japanese pop stars rise high and fade quickly, but Namie Amuro's return broke the mold. And this was published by The Times, or it was published in The Times, and the author is Leo Lewis, and this was published on January 26, 2005. So this has been a moment from now. All right, this has been a long moment. But nevertheless, this does have some interesting stuff about Namie that I would like to share with you guys. And so here I go. Japanese pop music is mercilessly efficient. It makes nobodies into singers. It makes singers into iduru, idols, and it makes millions of fans spend billions of yen. Then, after a few years of hysteria, it makes the idoru into nobodies again. It does not make exceptions. All right, so right there, basically the author is letting us know how Japanese pop music works, as well as just pop music in general. It'll just turn nobodies into singers, into pop stars or whatever overnight practically, and then the fans will go crazy about them. And then after a few years, these singers, they die out and they just go back to their life of obscurity for the most part. They're back to being nobodies again. And this is pretty much how J-pop music works, as well as pop music in general. Right. Next. But the world of J-pop never bargained for Namie Amuro, an obstinate beauty who has revealed that the music machine has a loophole. Okay. In the mid-1990s, she was a classic idol, bigger in Japan than any Western star, and creator of a teenage look that still dictates Tokyo fashions. All right, so I'm guessing that teenage look. So I'm guessing the look that she had as a teenager still resonates with young girls in Japan today. So that's pretty cool that she was able to make a fashion cultural impact like that. Let's see. Next, she was supposed to have fizzled out when she married 7 years ago, stunning Japan by doing so when pregnant at the age of 21. When her mother was brutally killed by Amuro's uncle, it seemed unlikely that the starlet would resurface again. So yeah, a lot of people counted Namie out during the tough times in her life because she had a struggling music career at one point. Because like first it was the pregnancy though, because usually when that happens, I think that's considered the point where women are supposed to bow out of the music, or pretty much the entertainment industry, gracefully and become mothers, and just stay mothers for the most part. But Namie didn't do that. She came back, and some people had some issues with Namie coming back into the industry, but nevertheless, she did come back. And then, her sales weren't as strong as they were before she left, and as well, her mother was brutally murdered by, I think, her step uncle. It was her husband's uncle, I think. And then she had got divorced too, and then gave custody of her son to her ex-husband for a while, and the public wasn't feeling that, they didn't approve of that. So yeah, she's been through some tough times. Let's see. Next, instead, she has undertaken the biggest Asian tour by a Japanese singer, and her latest album reached #2 on the charts. She is even optimistic about a European tour. How about an American tour, Namie? But Amuro's turn around breaks Japanese social patterns that go beyond music. She is a single working mother. She has endured a messy divorce with her celebrity husband and a family tragedy. She has repeatedly defied her music company bosses. Disturbingly to the industry, her return to fame has been done without the media blitzing that J-pop supremos have always assumed essential. So I guess Namie, when she came back into the industry, they didn't force her on people. I guess they didn't do like the media blitzing type of thing where it's like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, all around. So okay, that is good. I'm glad that Namie was able to sort of not be able to force herself upon the public, and she has spoken about that. Where I'm kind of like in the past when during her teen queen days, she was kind of forced on the public more so than she would have liked to have been, and now she kind of draws back from the public more so. And I think that's a good thing because sometimes people can be like they become sick of you after a while when you're forced on them. You know, sometimes some people are just like, I wish that this celebrity would take a break for a while because they're just everywhere. Sometimes you got to be missed. All right, next paragraph, I guess. In her interview with a non-Japanese paper, Amuro says, quote unquote, even my closest friend said I was finished. But I think I may be a little different from the others. My popularity plunged 3 years ago, and I didn't try to court publicity. It was a real challenge forcing myself to be consistent and not playing up to my fans. Alright, so right here I'm like, Namie, I hope you got a new closest friend because your closest friend should not be telling you you're finished. You're like, what kind of friend is that? Like, Namie, your career is finished. Like, who would say that to a friend? Even if you did think that, I don't think you should be the one to say it. I think you should try and offer some words of encouragement. But maybe I don't know details about this. But yeah, Namie says her popularity plunged, 3 years ago, and she didn't want to court the public, and she also doesn't want to play up to her fans. She wants to be able to be herself. And sometimes that can be difficult because you do have to sell records, so you might want to play up to the fans. But then it's like, hey, I really want to have my own, have myself represented in my music. All right. So next paragraph. There is an atmosphere of melancholy about Namie Amuro. When she had her first tattoo, it spawned a giant fad across Japan. Her latest piece of body art is a somber memorial to her mother on her upper left arm. It all jars with the idol tradition, Japanese starlets have always made their names by being irrepressibly ginki, meaning energetic and vivacious. They are designed to be dumb, pretty, and low-risk guests on TV shows. In the 1990s, Namie played the role to perfection. Now it seems impossible to associate her with that quote-unquote bubbly world. So, they giving us a little backstory on, what idols are supposed to be like typically, or what, the standard idol is, And that's kind of the same in the, American music market and probably even other music markets as well, The pop stars aren't really designed or marketed to have an opinion, so to speak. Like, I wouldn't ask, pop stars about current events, political issues, So, okay, yeah, I kind of get that. So next, here we go. She says, quote unquote, I came back to do a live concert. Nobody had done that before, and I know my managers were worried. I stopped caring about what people thought. I just wanted to sing again. So I'm guessing she is referencing her coming back when she took her break to get married and have her child. And I guess nobody had really done that before, but she's like, hey, I just want to sing again. I'm not really worried about what people think. I just want to do what I love to do again. All right. So good for you, Namie. Do you? All right. Next, Amuro asserts that what has happened is a jump from idol to artist. Quote unquote. I write songs now. I plan concerts. When I was younger, there was a huge gap between what I wanted to do and what I could do as an idol. So, Namie does write songs, but I want to consider her a singer-songwriter, you know? She can become one, and I think it's actually her strength to kind of toe the line between singer-songwriter and pop star slash idol. And it's good that she plans her concerts. That it's good that she's taking that control. Because I guess back in the day, when she was in her teen queen days, like everything was being done for her. And it was just like, hey, you're going to do this versus Namie having to say in what she does, you know? But now it's different. Namie has, artistic control over her career at this point, definitely. All right. Next paragraph. The murder of her mother, Emiko Teru, or Tara, or Tara, I think it's Tara, near her home on the sleepy island of Okinawa was a major news event, with her brother-in-law, Kinji Taira, at the wheel. Emiko was knocked down by a car while strolling with her husband near their home. Kinji then reversed over her 3 times, leapt out of the vehicle, and swung at her repeatedly with an axe. Emiko's husband, Tatsunobu, tried to defend his wife against his brother and was himself injured severely in the frenzy. Kinji then leapt into his car, drove a few miles down the road, and killed himself by drinking a bottle of insecticide. So, yeah, that's pretty much the details of that, that horrific event. And yeah, that is, just, words can't describe how terrible something like that is. And that's terrible that Namie's mom had to be removed from this world in such a manner like that. Let's see. Namie collapsed on hearing the news and now finds it nearly impossible to refer to the matter or even visit her hometown. But to be fair, I think Namie has made visits to her hometown since this has happened. Probably not recently when it happened, because she really doesn't have a reason to go back to Okinawa. Her only reason was her mother. And her mother is deceased, unfortunately. But Namie has been back to Okinawa before. After this event, she has been back to Okinawa since then. All right. Next paragraph. The main TV network speculated that Kinji's murderous rage arose from advice that Miku and Tatsunobu had given him to end a 3-year relationship. The more lurid tabloids hinted at a torrid affair between Miku and Kinji. Big cash loans between the two, arguments over Amuro's fortune, and even mafia links to Miko's old job as a bar hostess. So yeah, the tabloids are just speculating about everything. They're like, Namie's mother had mafia ties. There were some cash loans between the two that went wrong. It's like Miku and Kinji was having an affair. They fighting over Namie's money. Like, the the tabloids went in on the story, y'all. And if you're Namie, then that's a tough thing to go through. You know, having people have a say in your personal life and making all these assumptions where they don't know the story. You know, let's see. Just 1 year before the killing, Emiko had published a best-selling book of her own, describing repeated beatings by Namie's natural father and the punishing series of jobs that she held down to put her children through school before remarrying. So yeah, it sounds like Namie's mom. You know, she had like a tough life at times, but because of her hard work and dedication, Namie was able to become who she is today. Thus, she was able to benefit from Namie's celebrity and fortune as well, which she should. So, yeah, sounds like a tough thing or a tough life that Miku went through, or at least a tough time in her life. But she did remarry, and I think that relationship was, for the most part, a healthy relationship. All right. Next paragraph. This violent upheaval in Namie's life gave her a chance to think, and that let her undermine the Japanese pop regime. Quote unquote, I knew what I wanted to do. When I was snowed under with the work of an idol, I didn't have time to think. I never had the chance to consider what or how I wanted to be. And some people may be thinking, like, how do you not have time to think, right? But sometimes when you're so busy, sometimes you just have to do what's in front of you. You can't really think about, okay, let me really think about what I want to do, later on, because you're just so busy having to deal with what's in front of you. All right. Next paragraph. At the age of 12, Namie Amuro, was singing to shoppers for her local supermarket's promotional drive. A TV station later paid her to dress in a furry rabbit suit on a children's show. She was spotted by Masayuki Makino, a music promoter who would become her great mentor. He put Amuro in a teen group called Super Monkeys. While with this band, she was noticed by Tetsuya Komuro, who made AVAX Japan's most powerful idol factory and was supreme in the 1990s. He penned one hit for her in 1995 called Body Feels Exit. And Namie, at 17 years old, was suddenly bigger than Madonna in Japan. Her concert sold out within 10 minutes of tickets going on sale. So, as you guys know, or may not know, Namie, she didn't come into the industry as a solo artist. She came into the industry within a group, Super Monkeys. That's how she was introduced. And the Super Monkeys was the group that spawned Namie's solo career as well. It also spawned Max's, the musical group Max's career. But yeah, Namie became the big thing in Japan during this time. So, congratulations there, So her hard work in the Super Monkeys paid off. All right. Next, what followed defined the entire idol concept. Her tan skin, common on Okinawa, suddenly became a must-have look for teenage girls across Japan, and self-tanning lotion sales exploded. Every detail of her clothes, her makeup, and her accessories were copied by hundreds of thousands of girls who began calling themselves the Amura. So yeah, Namie's distinct look spawned a fashion fad, Quote unquote, I was shocked to see teenage Amuras. The phenomenon was out of my control. I didn't think I did anything special to make myself charismatic for these girls. I think I was a mirror for what they wanted to look like and how they wanted to feel. I think so, you know. I think they probably saw Namie and wanted to be like her because she's like on television and singing, and people are going crazy over her, and they want to be like that too. Like she is like an aspiration figure for these young girls in Japan. All right. Next, she is realistic about what was going on behind the scenes and even in the boardroom of ABEX's Tokyo offices. She describes the company as a machine. Quote unquote, people around me called me an idol. So that's what I was. Namie says, describing a 2-year frenzy during which she appeared on a different TV show almost every night. Let's see. Quote unquote, I enjoyed the opportunities, but there was no time to think. I had no choice in the decision to make myself available. I was not always doing things I wanted to do. So, because of her contractual obligations, and also the fact that she probably didn't have artistic control in her career at that time, she was just appearing on like so many different television shows practically every night. And that's a lot of work, you know? And the average person probably isn't used to doing that much work. And some people are like, it's not that big of a deal. But when you think about it, it probably is more so a big deal. And, because of that, she didn't have time to think. And also, she didn't have say in those decisions. Like, her people made those decisions. She didn't make those decisions. So she wasn't always doing the things she wanted to do. And that can be disheartening and frustrating to not have a say in what you do. All right. So next, at the peak of her fame with more than 20 million album sales, she sang the theme song to the Pokemon movie and starred in a corny high school film about cheating in exams, or cheating on exams. It was her reaching that idol apex that made her marriage to Sam, a dancer from the band TRF, all the more shocking to the Japanese public. Marriage is still widely viewed as a woman's moment to bow out of whatever she's been doing. So basically, in Japan, I think they're a bit more traditional, and they expect, once a woman gets married to pretty much, become a housewife, I guess. And I have heard that, I heard that it's kind of difficult for women to be, working mothers in Japan, or working divorced moms in Japan, or working single moms in Japan, because childcare services are not widely available for, um, children. That's what I heard. Let's see. Next, more humiliatingly, while still under the control of her J-pop bosses, Amuro, or Namie, and Sam, by now with a baby son, were induced to appear in a government TV campaign urging young Japanese people to settle down and have children. She laughs when it's pointed out that the Japanese birth rate has fallen since her campaign. Her divorce from Sam 4 years later left Namie again testing the limits of the Japanese system, this time as a single parent. Well, technically she's a divorced parent, but whatever. She's yeah, a single mom, divorced mom. So yeah. Next, particularly outrageous, he says, was the criticism by Japanese papers that equated her comeback with the abandonment of her child. Quote unquote, during my grief, I realized there was nothing I could do for my mother, but I did have a child. I began to think more like a mother myself, and to become positive in my work again. She says, quote unquote, I wish I could balance life as an artist and a mother, but sometimes when I'm doing live concerts, I have to ask people to help me in my other role. Despite her return to fame, Namie lives quietly. She doesn't have a boyfriend, rarely goes out in the evenings, and seldom meets her fans. Namie signaled her comeback by winning a huge singing show live on TV in front of Japan's biggest TV audiences. She wept when she realized how much the public wanted her back. Quote unquote, you never know whether the fans will be waiting for you. All in all, I'm happy, but we're groping in the dark. Okay, but that's the end of the article. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys were able to learn more about Namie, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So there you have it. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next news article analysis, adios and goodbye for now.